Our first guest tonight is John England, an international piano entertainer from England. Hi, John. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you very much for having me.
And you're at the Caravel Theatre here in Branson.
That's right.
Tell us about your show.
Well, it's as you say, it's international. It's an acknowledgement of the differences and the similarities musically that America and England share. We used to be great, and now you're great, and I'm celebrating that in all the music that I play.
And what kind of music do you play?
A little bit of everything from some Hollywood tunes to Broadway to sing-along, a little bit of country, which I've learned since I've come to the States because I didn't play much of that beforehand. A little bit of song and dance. I play the guitar a little. And the unique thing about the show is that in the second half, I play as many of the requests that the audience ask for that I can possibly play. So that's something that isn't done very often, but that's the way I started out. And I've got quite a few tunes in my head, so people ask for just about everything, and I try and play as many of those as I can.
And you do this all by memory, don't you?
That's right, yes. Well, I didn't learn the conventional route. I never took any lessons and can't read any music. So I have to do it from my memory.
But you know millions of songs, probably.
Well, quite a few. I don't know about millions, but quite a few, certainly, yeah.
That's great. So how did you get to America?
Well, via attraction to my then-to-be wife. I met her while we were internationally traveling in Europe, and I was so smitten with her that I decided to come over, and she decided to invite me over. So that's really what pulled me over here.
That's great. And you have a family now?
I do, yes. In fact, my wife just sent me, I'm missing them at the moment. They're at home in the Carolinas, but they're coming to Branson shortly. But she sent me a super picture of our baby daughter. She's just 2.5 now, and she just fills my thoughts from morning to night.
Oh, I bet.
When I'm not playing.
And so tell us where else you've been, and you mentioned the Carolinas.
Well, that's where we moved to. My wife's from Connecticut and the Boston area. We moved down to the Carolinas to take advantage of the nicer weather. And then I became aware of Branson as a super opportunity to play my music and to reach an audience that liked the sort of thing that I do. And so we come over here. But before then, I've traveled pretty much all over the world. A long time ago, I played on some cruise liners. And I found I was playing mainly for an American audience because the greatest show tunes and the greatest tunes in the world come from Hollywood and Broadway. So that's pretty much how I gravitated to playing for a primarily American audience.
And I read on your website, which is a great website, by the way,
well,
very informative.
Thank you.
I read that you used to take requests over the radio with the
right.
BBC.
Yes, the British Broadcasting Corporation have a complete arm, which is radio, and that's broadcast over here on NPR. And I had a show on there where people would call in live with either a romantic or an emotional request, something that they got married to or danced to at their wedding or something like that. And I was able to play that live in the studio, which has kept me on my toes, but it was great fun.
How are audiences different here than European audiences?
Well, they're freer to express themselves. They're ready to have a big, happy time. I think the observation of European audiences is they're a little more uptight and a little more reserved. So it's a great fun to come over here and have somebody whoop in the audience or stand up if they like something.
That's great.
So it's an education for me.
And they're free to ask for requested tunes.
Absolutely, yes. And they're very ready to do that. I think that's the best connection in my show. It's great to show off and say, look how wonderful I am. But the truth is, I find that folks connect when you play something that's emotionally significant to them, means something to them. And so that's where I get my biggest kick.
And your website, I listened to the list of tunes you have on the website, and they're all the favorites, aren't they?
Absolutely. Rhapsody in Blue, Wind Beneath My Wings, Love Story, Moon River. They're the greatest tunes. They'll last forever. And it's just a privilege to be able to play them here. It really is.
And you don't wear any sparkly outfits during your show, do
No,
you?
absolutely no. I'm just off to Walmart here with this one, but I shall get dressed down when I actually go. You've noticed, have you?
Hard not to notice.
Absolutely.
Do you walk down the street much in that outfit?
No, not unless I'm looking to get arrested. I have about 5 or 6 costume changes during the show. So this is the finale outfit, and this is my special transatlantic top hat here, where I acknowledge both of the nations that provide me with the greatest music experience.
And the Queen kind of gets in on the act,
absolutely,
too,
yeah. Well, I played for her Silver Jubilee back in 1977, one of my first professional engagements. And she was kind enough to participate in the show that I brought to Branson. So there's a bit of a surprise waiting for people that come and see it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, John, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you very much. It's been a
nice
pleasure and a
meet
privilege.
You.
Thank you.